5 years to take a new company and turn it into a multi-million-dollar business. This is my journey. Welcome back, everyone. Today is May 22nd, and today we're going to be talking about the future. Not only things that I'm going to be doing or could be doing, but also things that you can be doing as well to diversify your portfolio and find other ways of making additional income. Now, in my last video, what I did was I talked about how the coronavirus had happened and it completely threw a monkey wrench into my timeline as far as launching the product and really heavily promoting it. Basically push everything back maybe anywhere between 6 months to a year as far as doing like another heavy official product launch. And the reason for that is because we're just coming out of a 2-month lockdown. We don't know if there's going to be a second wave to come. Watching the news yesterday, they showed how they're starting to see an increase in new cases. So we don't necessarily know what's going to happen for the next 2 to 3 months. So what I decided to do was just to sit there and say, well, no one's working. And even if they were not to shut down the economy for the second time, it will still take about 3 to 6 months, even a year for people to kind of really get back on their feet. I kind of give it a time around November, December, because around that time people kind of, we're here in America, we kind of, we have a short attention span. We can forget all that stuff. And when November, December comes around, the holiday season, we'll spend the money and go shopping, buy gifts and everything else because it's a very joyous time. And then we have New Year's coming in. And then that's when people are getting their income tax. So that's really when the spending, I expect the spending to start really happening. So with that being said, I'm looking at about next year, maybe November. I'm looking at November this year or maybe early next year as far as doing another relaunch of EMF Armor, and all of the products that it carries. And also by that time it gives me some chance to build up my inventory, and it gives me some time to add some new products to our product line as well. Now, in saying that, I do work a regular 9 to 5, which is here at the office where I'm at right now. We do consumer finance loan, business loans, title loans, and different things like that. If I chose to, I could decide that, hey, you know what? I'm here at the office, I'm making some money. I'm not going to launch a product till next year or November, so I'll put the channel on hold. But that's not the reason why I started this channel, not only for my 5-year plan, but also to show individuals that with a limited amount of money and some imagination and some determination, you can actually make something out of nothing. So what I'm going to be doing these next few months is basically showing you different ways that I myself invest my money, and how I go ahead and I diversify my portfolio and I don't leave my money sitting in the bank. Now, with that being said, I want to be very careful and I want to clarify that and give some more details on that. Now, I leave a certain amount of money in my savings account, but for the most part, I invest my money into things that are going to build up bigger interest or earn more money or appreciate in value as time go by. A lot of times you have people, they just put money into their bank account just so they can see the money sitting there and say, oh, well, I have $10,000. I have $10,000 or $20,000 inside of my bank account and I feel safe and secure, but that money is not really doing anything for them. Where if they were to take that money, or you take half of it and invest it into a business, invest it into collectible items, antiques or whatever, it can actually gain value for them. All right. So with that being said, those are some of the things I'm going to be doing down here. The swap shop is opening up this weekend, so I most definitely will be going out there. That's where I get a lot of my paintings. That's where I get a lot of my coin collections, because what happens is you find people who are doing estate sales. You find people who are just hard for money right now, and especially with these times, it's the best time to go to the swap shops. And you find antique items, you find video games, you find paintings, you find all kind of stuff that people don't really know what they have there. I like to say when I go to the swap shop, I am looking to victimize the merchants, meaning I'm looking to get somebody who does not know what they have on their hands and they're selling it for 20, 30 bucks and it's actually worth, a few hundred, if not a few $1,000s. I don't deal with the dealers or that actually go out there or anything else like that, because they try to sell you the product at regular price. You may get a little cheaper, but it's just not to your benefit if you really are trying to use it to resell, or if you're using it as a collectible items and you're paying just regular price. Now, with that being said, I'm saying this as far as things that individuals can do with right now. If you don't have any money saved up, or if you do have, a few dollars saved up, these are some of the things that I would advise you to start looking at. And just because I recommend something doesn't mean I'm right, doesn't mean I'm wrong. What I would tell you is this: do the research on your own. If you feel comfortable getting involved in that particular industry or that particular type of investment, then go ahead and do it. But it's very important that you don't let somebody else do all the research for you, but that you do your research yourself, and you get the chance to understand that industry and you feel comfortable as far as where your money's going. One of the things that I personally hate is when individuals come to me and say, well, you said that this would be a good investment, and so here's my money, just go ahead and invest it for me, or go ahead and do that. And I always feel like, wow, I can be a shady character. I can come in, I can take your money, I can steal your money. Don't ever do that with anybody. Understand the industry. You're going to be giving people to invest your money into. In this way, with every decision that they make as far as how they're going to invest your money, you understand how it's being invested, where it's being invested, and the expected returns. Otherwise, you can lose out on a lot of money, or some people have even lost their life savings. Okay, so with that being said, the three areas that I've always considered the most important areas in investment is the three things that people cannot live without. People cannot live without food, people cannot live without medicine, and people cannot live without housing. Those are the three things that are like, no matter what really happens in society, those are the three things people are always going to need: food, medicine, and shelter. All right. So as far as the shelter aspect of it, the housing industry right now, we can see that it's kind of weak based on everything that's happening with the coronavirus. And like I said, the effects of the coronavirus on the housing market, we probably won't see that until next year. And I think about next year around this time is where you will see a huge increase in foreclosures. You'll see a huge increase in people losing their homes. And this is where the real estate market, as far as the residential piece of it, is really going to go down, as well as the commercial piece as well. Now, you have 1 year to really save up money and start getting your credit fixed and getting your credit together. And so this way you can be prepared for that. Now, my recommendations based on what your income may be is, if you are looking for income property, I would not recommend that you get a home, especially if you're down here in Miami. It's a lot more expensive to rent a home. You have all these big property taxes. There's a lot of work that you may have to do in the home. If you're selling a home, yes, you can sell it. You can take it, buy it, flip it, sell it, and make a decent profit. But if you're looking for residual income, then I normally tell a lot of people, look at condominiums. The reason for that is because it's very easy to rent condominiums. And typically with the housing market, if you look at what happened with the last recession in 2009, a lot of condominiums were going for anywhere, especially down here in Miami, anywhere between $50,000 to $70,000. Some townhouses were going for the same price as well, as far as short sales when they had foreclosures and different things like that. And the great thing about condominiums is the fact that they have great rental potential, and the upkeep on them is very low, because the association typically takes care of all that exterior stuff. You just have to worry about the interior. Unlike with the house, if you buy a house and then you decide to rent it out, you're responsible for everything: grass cutting, the roofing, and all this other stuff. And based on all the taxes and everything that you have to rent it out for a much more higher value. And in most cases, who's going to pay $2,500 for a home? If you do have that kind of money, a lot of times it's end up being some type of government assistance program, and renting out to a lot of individuals such as that. Your homes typically get destroyed. I've heard some very, very bad horror stories, and I've seen some horror stories in regards to that as well. So that's the first thing as far as the housing market. You guys have a year to save up. Try to get $10,000 to $20,000 save up. Get together with some friends and family members. Open up an investment account at your bank. Put the money in there and just wait for great investment opportunities to come up. If you come across any kind of commercial properties that are going for $50,000 to $70,000, you have $20,000 in your account. Typically, most of these places ask for 10% down. You can actually look at getting 10 or 20% down. You can probably look at getting two places. 2 units, one unit in this building, another unit in another building. Always kind of spread out your investments. Don't leave everything in one place. So in other words, don't try to buy 3 or 4 condominiums in one building, because if something happens with that particular building or that association, then you're basically screwed. But if your money's spread out, then you're doing a lot better. All right, so that's what as far as the housing pieces as well. And if you decide to open up a business, commercial rental is actually going to drop. So if your lease is about to be up, try to just pay month to month or move out of the space. And I'm telling you guys, within a year or so, you'll be able to get yourself locked into like a 3-year to 5-year lease at a very, very low rate, if not half of what you're currently paying if you already have a space. Now, the other thing is, we've covered housing, so now the other thing is going to be medical. All right, so with everything that's happened with the coronavirus, a lot of people right now, they're very aware that they need to start eating healthy, start doing a lot of health stuff. And if they, because the thing about it, the coronavirus doesn't really affect, well, it does affect, but the coronavirus doesn't really have a heavy impact on the healthy. It's really going after the elderly or people with pre-existing conditions. So I think now is going to be like after New Year's Day, where everybody has these New Year's resolutions to work out, go to the gym, eat healthier. And I think that's going to become a big thing where people are going to want to start taking care of themselves and being a lot more healthier. So when you come into the medical piece of it, it can be anywhere from, personal trainers, people being personal trainers. It could be anything from, natural herbs and stuff that don't need to be FDA approved that people are selling. And I've seen a lot of that starting to pop up all over the place. If you decide that you want to go to school and you need something to, you need to have some type of job security because you were a waiter or you worked in the hospitality industry, but now it's down, or you worked in the airline industry and now it's down, go back to school and do something. Down here in Florida, as far as Miami-Dade as well, you have the Emt courses. Emt courses are about 3 months. You have the paramedic courses, which are a little bit longer, about 6 to 9 months. You can do nursing, LPN, EKG, phlebotomy, all these different things, and what they call certificate programs that you can do in the medical field. This way you know that you have job security and different things like that. It isn't much you can do unless you have millions or hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, as far as getting into the medical piece of it, as far as opening your own clinic or anything like that. But to be a little bit more realistic, you could look at it from a career point of view. If you need to have a regular steady income, that would be the best place to do it. That would be the best place to go, is get involved in the medical field. All right. Now the third thing is food. People always need food. And the thing about it now is, like I said, with this whole coronavirus situation, people are going to try to start eating a lot more healthier. People are going to start being more conscious of the things that they put into their body. So yes, you can open up smoothie stores. Like down here in Miami, we have Smoothie King, and you may have it in your area, or you may have some other type of smoothie vendor, which you go into their business, and the only thing they have there is a bunch of blenders, and they have some vegetables, and they make smoothies, and they make a killing with it. I mean, that's it. It doesn't require a lot. They're not cooking anything special. They're having cookies and cakes and other natural stuff made from outside vendors who bring it in, and then they sell it with inside their store, underneath their brand. But basically what they do is they have 6 or 7 blenders, and they just make smoothies, and that's it, with some fruits and stuff like that. So that's also another way to go. Salads, people are making salad stuff. If you go into like a Walgreens, or you go into most of these gas stations, you see these containers with salads and little fruits and things like that. These are little small vendors who are making these things, and then what they're doing is they're bringing them into the stores and they're selling them. So you may want to learn how to get your product inside of a store. What's the step that you need to go through? You may want to look at open up a salad bar. I mean, Subway is going to make a huge killing now because of the stuff that they do as far as cooking healthy, like making healthy things. So the food industry is also going to be a big industry, but I think on the health side of it, that is going to be really big, and that's going to be really huge. So those are different places that you can consider putting your money. And with the food industry piece of it, a lot of people are doing urban farming and different things like that. So as of right now, to diversify my portfolio, I don't have much in the sense of in the real estate piece of it, but I'm going to start focusing more on that. I have some property up in Georgia. I'm looking at Texas right now for opening up a ranch, maybe natural, all natural cattles that very eating natural stuff, what they call free range cattle, free range chickens and different things like that. So I'm looking at Texas as far as big open lots of land. Georgia is more residential for me that I have, and I'm also looking at down here in Florida as well. Now I'm looking at those three industries, and I'm trying to figure out. Real estate for me is really going to be down the road next year, so that's long term. That's what they consider. That's what I would consider like a long term. But right now, for immediate income and stuff like that, I have not completely narrowed it down to any one particular project that I'm going to be doing. But I'm still looking around and seeing what opportunities present itself right now. Also, if you do have funds, you have money available, you don't just have to invest into your own ideas or the things that you want to do. You can also invest into individuals and other people. I've done that on several different occasions where I've invested into people who come to me with a great real estate opportunity, or somebody who has a restaurant, or somebody who has a project that they want to work on. They need short-term funding. I would fund them. I've even tried investing into a landscaping company at one point in time, especially down here in Miami with all the hurricanes and everything that's happening. So, like I said, a lot of great opportunity out there. Unlimited amount of opportunity, unlimited amount of growth. It really depends on you, depends on your financial situation and what your risk tolerance is. Number one thing I would tell you guys is try to diversify. Try to be involved in at least 2 projects at one time. Do not put all your money into just one particular project. The reason for that is because it can be very, very dangerous. If one thing fails, then all of your money goes up in the air. Whereas if you were to invest in multiple different projects into different industries as well, you have a better chance in case one industry collapses. You still have other ways of making money. Prime example of that would be what's going on right now. You see a lot of people, all of their businesses were in restaurants only, and now the restaurant industry has been really, really hit hard by this coronavirus situation, and every single thing in their portfolio has failed and has gone under, and a lot of people filed for bankruptcy. Same thing with the retail and hospitality. So you want to be sure that you diversify your portfolios and you don't just invest into one particular industry, but try to be a little bit more versatile as well. And so don't feel like you can only invest in yourself. Find people with great ideas, people who are hardworking, and piggyback on their ideas and invest into them. I've invested into a lot of people. That's why I'm where I am right now. All right, so you guys, I'm not a millionaire, not a billionaire, but I'm well off to the point where I feel comfortable, and I don't stress and worry about money. And this whole coronavirus situation has not really affected me as much as it affected a lot of other people out there. So you guys just, hit the subscribe button, tune in to future episodes. If you have any questions, go ahead and message me. Follow me on Instagram, DM me if you have any questions or concerns, or if you want me to go into anything more in detail. Have a wonderful day, and may God bless.